What's going on, y'all? It's Monty, and I'm back with another episode of Reading with a Real Nigga. I haven't had a chance to do my hair yet. It's the first time in the morning. I just got to brush. You know, I'm trying to get them waves in. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get them waves in. So I haven't had a chance to brush. But I feel as if like this kind of fits the vibe, especially because it's red too. It makes it so much easier to keep the brand going. But yeah, today, Robert Greene's final book, The 33 Strategies of War, or at least I think it's his final book, The 33 Strategies of War. This is a bigger book, so I gotta let me see. Alright, that should be good. Okay, so we got that, and I actually wrote stuff down this time as opposed to last week when I was just going through the entirety of the book. And I know what some people may be thinking is like, what do you mean? Like I'm not in the military. I'm not going to war. It's so easily applied to regular life because we're very combative. Humans are very combative. You know, we're going through war every day. We're fighting battles all the time. We got battles that we got to fight in our personal lives, and we got to understand how to manage those and maintain, you know, our sense of mind while we're going through that. So let's jump right into this. I don't want to wait any more. The third strategy of war. Amidst the turmoil of events, do not lose your presence of mind. In the heat of battle, the mind tends to lose its balance. It is vital to keep your presence of mind, maintaining your mental powers, whatever the circumstances. Make the mind tougher by exposing it to adversity. Learn to detach yourself from the chaos of the battlefield. Our greatest weakness is losing heart, doubting ourselves, becoming unnecessarily cautious. Being more careful is not what we need. That is just a screen for our fear of conflict and making a mistake. What we need is double the resolve and intensification of confidence. Now I want to go back to what he said in the initial introduction of that part. Make the mind tougher by exposing it to adversity. A lot of people, we shy away from confrontation. We're not very confrontational. But what he wants you to do is be able to seek out that confrontation. Seek out the challenges, seek out the things that you're going to be nervous about doing that are going to scare you a little bit. Because the more that you continue to do things that are making you uncomfortable and things that you fear, the more comfortable you'll be in those moments. Typically when we feel fear, when we feel stress, when we have a moment in which we're doing something that doesn't make us feel entirely comfortable, we start to lose our sense of mind. We start to think about, oh, what am I going to say next? What is this? What am I going to do next? Don't worry about that. The more you're able to expose yourself to adversity, the more you're going to be able to understand how to maneuver through certain situations. You got to build up that muscle. You got to work that muscle. If you want to be able to control yourself in social situations, if you want to stand tall in the face of adversity, you got to expose yourself to those battles. And I can relate to this in a way because I've never told the internet about this, but I'm a boxer. And one thing that you can really see with people who have had a lot of fights and people who haven't is that when you see someone go in there who doesn't have a lot of fights, they're really tense. They're really tense, and they're throwing their whole body into the thing. They're thinking, oh, I got to take this guy's head off. But that's not what it is. One of my coaches, he always tells me, he's like, walk in there and have an attitude like it's just another day at the office. Be relaxed, be easy flowing, be able to, and granted, you have another man who's on the other side of the ring trying to kill you practically, but you have to remain calm and collected. You have to be able to see what he wants to do, see where the punches are coming from, and be able to move out of the way. Always understand that you need to be calm in those moments. In moments you have adversity, in moments you're under duress, in moments you have stress, and learn how to be present in your mind. All right, on to the next one. Create a sense of urgency and desperation. I'm not even going to go into what he was talking about because I already know. Because you hear it so much from these guys who are always saying like, oh, you should be working like 3 jobs. You should be getting all this money, yada, yada, yada. You're creating a sense of urgency. A lot of us are operating in situations in which we feel comfortable. We're comfortable enough in almost the majority of our lives where we feel as if nothing has to change. So we feel safe. And that's what we always do. We're always looking for an opportunity to feel safe, to feel secure. And we're staying there. But the issue comes from the fact that we start to get complacent. We start doing less. We start feeling as if, you know, I'm fine. I don't need to do anything more. We lose that hunger. We lose that drive because there's nothing that's pushing us. But let's say something bad happens. You have a really expensive emergency that comes up, and you're like down to your last dollar. Now that hunger comes back, right? Because now you need to figure out, you got to make something shake. You got to make something shake, or it's not going to work out well for you. The one way to always make sure that you're on top and that you don't have to deal with those moments is to always have a sense of urgency. Always be looking for more. Always be understanding how I can do better. How can I push forward? What can I make of this situation to make myself, to keep growing? There's always a sense of urgency to keep moving. Because if you stop moving, everyone else who was behind you, they're going to pass you. And it's our competitive nature as humans. Like, we don't want to see anyone doing better than us. But if we allow ourselves to get to that safety net and just sit in there, then a lot of people are going to move ahead of us. They're going to surpass us. And it's only those small moments when we notice it, when we're like, okay, I'm going to do this. And maybe it lasts for a day. It's like that thing where dudes always talking about like that 3 a.m. thing. And they're like, oh, I'm going to change my life around. Do that all the time. Create that sense of urgency all the time. Even if you have to fake something. If you got to fake what you got to think in your mind for it to really hit, do that. Next one, we got number 8, which is pick your battles carefully. We all have limitations. Our energies and skills will only take us so far. You must know your limits and pick your battles carefully. Consider the hidden costs of war: time lost, political goodwill squandered, an embittered enemy bent on revenge. Sometimes it is better to wait, to undermine your enemies correctly rather than hitting them straight on. Understand what you... I don't know why that just stopped, but so now I got 2 different audio clips. Anyways, understand what you're getting yourself into. Understand what battles you're deciding to fight in, because a lot of us get into petty arguments. A lot of us are getting into petty disputes with other people, and it really doesn't mean anything. It's just a waste of energy and a waste of time. There's a lot of battles that we get into just to pass time, just because we feel like it. It's like, whatever, let's get into this argument. And then we have that sense that we want to win it, and it goes back to what I was talking about on one of the other ones. You're going to stir up resentment if you're always looking out to, let me win this argument. Let me get over this. Win through your actions, not through argument. Choose your battles wisely. Understand what you're getting yourself into. And sometimes it's better just to avoid the situation. Don't use unnecessary energy on battles that you don't have to fight. But the next one we have is turn the tables. Moving first, initiating the attack will often put you at a disadvantage. You are exposing your strategy and limiting your options. Instead, discover the power of holding back and letting the other side move first, giving you the flexibility to counterattack from any angle. If your opponents are aggressive, bait them into a rash attack that will leave them in a weak position. This also makes me think of boxing again. It's just like counterpunching. If someone throws a jab, you can throw something else and get them and catch them off guard. Let's say someone comes at you, like in terms of trying to get into an argument. They're screaming, they're yelling at you and all that. If you remain calm in that moment and just sit there, you let them throw whatever they need to at you. They can throw the whole kitchen sink. You let them build their emotions up, get so frustrated with you that they're saying any and everything to try to tear you down. And you're just there, cool, calm, and collected. You realize how you're turning the tables without even doing anything on them. Because even from an outside perspective, other people seeing that is like, why is that person going crazy? What are they doing? This other guy is just sitting here and he's cool as a cucumber. What's happening right now? Understand that you don't always have to attack first. You don't always have to be the instigator in these situations. Oftentimes, like he said, oftentimes it puts you at a different disadvantage. You're showing your hand. You see how all this stuff is coming together? You're showing your hand too early. Give it a chance to develop in front of you. And you don't always have to do this, but sometimes it works better. But it's always having that presence of mind, like we're going back to the first law. Have that presence of mind to understand, okay, what's my best course of action in this situation? If something arises, what's the best thing I can do right now? How can I figure this out? How can I make this situation work out for me? How can I come out victorious in a sense? If you notice in that moment that you need to let that person show their hand first, let them show their hand first. because then you're going to know any other way that you can go about it to get around this situation. We are moving on to 10. Create a threatening presence. This is what I really wanted to talk about this, because there was one thing, the first thing that popped into my head, the bodyguards you see like outside of clubs and at security, a lot of those guys don't know how to actually fight or like de-escalate a situation. They just look like they do, which is why people don't mess with them. So that's why it ties in to create a threatening presence. And I'm not saying you need to, get in the gym, whatever, get swole, because some of the scariest people on the planet wear a suit and tie and they are built like the average man. Kind of a bar, that's all I'm saying. It's been said a million times, but it's better to be feared than it is loved, because people will try to take advantage of you if they love you. They'll also try to take advantage of you if they fear you, but it's to a lesser extent. They're not going to try too hard to do that, especially when they know you could come back at them with God knows what. The best way to fight off aggressors is to keep them from attacking you in the first place. Build up a reputation. There we go. Build up a reputation. You're a little crazy. Fighting you is not worth it. Uncertainty is sometimes better than overt threat. If your opponents are never sure what messing with you will cost, they will not want to find out. Create a reputation in which people know they know you won't back down from anything. It's like when you hear those guys in the prison interviews in the jail yard, they're like, yo, the first day you get in there, you got to stand your ground. Let them know that you're not with the funny business. Stand your ground and let them know that if it's coming down to it, it's coming down to it. And you're not going to be the person to back down. Always be willing to put up a fight if someone is trying to take advantage of you. Always be willing. Don't build a reputation in which people will know that you're a pushover. Build a reputation and know that, yo, if you want to get into it with bro, you better be ready and you better be prepared. Or even from the physical standpoint, if you really want to build that presence, because you see all these dudes who go to the gym all the time, they get huge, swole, and it's like Bradley Martin. I mean, he's probably not a good example because now people can see that he doesn't know how to fight, whatever. But if you see a guy like that, most people on the streets gonna be like, why would I want to fight that guy? Why would I want to get into any altercation with that guy? So from a physical standpoint, it can also be good. But like I said, scariest men on the planet wear suit and tie, built like the average man. And they built that reputation from standing on business. 13. Know your enemy. The target of your strategy should be less the army you faced than the mind of the man or woman who runs it. This goes back to what I had said earlier in terms of choosing your battles wisely. Know what you're getting yourself into. Know who you're getting into it with. Know what makes them tick. Know what can throw them off balance. Understand who it is that you're going against or what you're going against. If you're trying to attack like some sort of entity, if it's some social justice cause that you're pushing for, understand it. Understand the points that you can talk about and that you can argue and debate with other people. It's like the person who comes to mind is Charlie Kirk. He knows so much about politics. I don't know a thing about politics. I know people have a lot of varying opinions when it comes to Charlie Kirk, but he's so well versed in what he's talking about that he's able to talk about it with anyone. And that's why he makes a lot of people look foolish, because he knows how to use his verbiage correctly. So these people who are trying to debate with him, they got to do their research. They really got to get into their bag if they want to be able to take him down. A lot of people want that Pyrrhic victory against him, because regardless of whether or not you make him look foolish, like he has full discretion over what he can post and put up. So he'll never probably post that. But if these people want to have that victory of feeling as if they got him, they need to do their research. They better understand what they're talking about. They better have all the facts. They better have all the details. They better quote all the sources, because that's what he's doing. Come prepared. Know who you're playing against. Know what you're playing against, and be able to pull out all the stops. Whatever you got to do. 17. Defeat them in detail. Never be intimidated by your enemy's appearance. Instead, look at the parts that make up the whole. This is kind of like what I was just talking about. It ties back into where we just were. Understand where their weak points are. Understand what portions of them you can attack. Understand their weak points, the weak points in their argument, and attack those. You don't want to argue the strong points that everyone has evidence against. Argue the weak points that no one really knows much about. Get there, because a lot of people are going to try to bring it back to the big points, but you have to stay right there. Okay, so I want to do 29 after this, but I'm going to come back to 22. So we're going to go to 29 and then we're going to come back to 22. And 29 is take small bites. Overt power grabs and sharp rises to the top are dangerous, creating envy, distrust, and suspicion. Often the best solution is to take small bites, swallow little territories, playing upon people's relatively short attention spans. Before people realize it, you have accumulated an empire. Take little things that people don't notice. Take ground. It's what I think about when a lot of people are talking about, relationship dynamics and how women are often going to test you a lot when you're in a relationship with them. They're taking small territory over you. Even when it comes down to small things, or just being like, oh, you said we were going to go here, but we're going to go here. He said, actually, and you're just like, oh, okay, fine. It's little tiny bites. I shouldn't have just brought it straight to relationships, but that's the first thing that came to my mind. But other people will do the same thing. They'll take little steps over you, disrespect you just a little bit more, see what they can get away with. That's why you always got to nip it in the bud right there. Is it nip it in the bud or nip it in the butt? I don't know. But you got to nip it in the butter right there. They're coming at you sideways. You catch it. Because then they know, okay, I can't pass that level. That's the level I got to stop at. But if you let them go, they're going to take some more. And they're going to take some more. And they're going to take some more. And eventually you're going to be like, whoa, why? What happened? You'll have no idea what happened because they're taking small bites every time. And you let them do it. You have no one to blame but yourself. Be aware of when people are trying to take small bites, and also take small bites yourself. Like use it as an actual strategy. Don't use it how people just mindlessly use it, but understand when you do it, even because we all do it. So understand when you're doing that and when you're taking that small bite, and sometimes use it to your advantage. See what you'll be able to get away with. See what you'll be able to get over on people. Because like I said, most people don't want to be tasked with dealing with confrontation. So a lot of people are going to let you walk over them. And I know it sounds manipulative, but this is how people make it in the world. Manipulation is partially what you have to use if you want to be successful. Now let's go back to 22, which is going to be the last one. And it's know how to end things. You are judged in this world by how well you bring things to an end. A messy or incomplete conclusion can reverberate for years to come. The art of ending things well is knowing when to stop. The height of strategic wisdom is to avoid all conflicts and entanglements from which there are no realistic exits. Know when to end things. Don't stay in things too long. And when you do end things quickly, sharply, abruptly. I have this one homie who he's wanted to break up with his girl maybe for about 4 or 5 months, maybe more at this point. Every time I talk to him, he's like, I don't like her. And I'm like, dude, what are you waiting for? Like, why are you staying in this relationship that you don't like this girl? And you have to know when to end it. Because now he's getting himself deeper into it. Feelings are only getting stronger. They're only getting more attached to each other. If you know you don't like her, if you know you don't want to spend the rest of your life with her, let her go. Why are we taking so much time not just to get deeper into this? Why not just end it? So many people hold on to things much longer than they should because they don't know when to end things. You have to be able to end things at appropriate times. End them abruptly, end them sharply, and let it go. Even if you see that a loss is coming your way, people start investing so much more energy once they see they're going to lose because they want to try to get out on top. You could invest all that energy and still lose. Really keep that presence of mind. Going back to the beginning, keep the presence of mind. Know where you're at. Know your enemy. Know what they're going to come at you with. And see, okay, this might be a losing battle. And if it's a losing battle, quit while you're ahead. That's 33 Strategies of War. If you want to tap into that, obviously you can get it wherever they sell books and stuff. That's all I got for today. The next book, I'm not sure what the next book is going to be because Robert Greene is all done. Okay. I'm getting some ideas. I'm bringing some ideas together, and we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it going. But yeah. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate your time.